We are back for another installment of the D Money Show. I'm your host, D Money, Darren Blatt. First off, I'd like to thank Jamal and his guys over at the EDM Network, also known as EDMLeadNetwork.com, and our good friends over at Contact.io, which is coming up pretty soon. So you guys got to book your stuff because, if you're in the pay per call space, you own a call center or doing anything related to pay per call, you've got to be there. It's a good one. Anyway, today we have another pay per call expert with us, somebody that runs one of the biggest agencies out there. We have Logan with Ifficient. And so you are a pay per call company that sells the calls and you sell transfers and form fills. Is that correct?
Correct. So Ifficient has been around for almost 2 decades. So Ifficient's been around for 20 years. Primarily, most of their footing in the space was on the data traffic side of the business. We own and operate a handful of sites internally that's doing anywhere between 70 to 80,000 registrations per day. These are coming through path side survey promo sort of nature or flow. And then we do own and operate a SaaS product as well, primarily around click attribution, ad serving, and some further monetization tools there. So just to help making sure that the data you are getting, you're having the right insights and being able to monetize it appropriately. 2.5, almost 3 years ago is where I was brought on with our partner Vince. And then that's when I launched the call division of Ifficient. And through that process, we would take our own internal data that we were generating. We built up our own internal call center in the Philippines. And at that point, we were outbound dialing. We only outbound dialed and sold transfers for about the first year and a half of our business. And then at that point, we were looking to have additional volume based off of the demand from our partners, super happy with our quality, our process, and our compliance, that they asked, how can we do more business? At that point, we also started opening up our traffic to some other partners and networks and things like that, and leveraging our relationships with some of their current traffic opportunities there. Fast forward 2.5 years later, we do run in almost all verticals in the insurance, legal space, and some home services as well. Both sides of the business of transfers, consumers that were outbound dialed, but also consumer initiated inbounds too. So 2 different traffic types on the call side.
So that's your main focus would be the home improvement you said. You're
Yep,
doing
legal and insurance are my bread and butter. That's where I've always stayed. Home services we recently launched at the end of Q1 of this year, in various verticals, whether that's pest control, windows, roofing, plumbing, water damage, etc.
Are you tired of guessing where your next conversion is coming from? At EDM Lead Network, we give you real-time control over high-quality leads and live call traffic across ACA, final expense, solar, home services, and more. Our self-serve advertiser platform lets you launch, pause, and scale campaigns instantly. Set your price per lead or call, choose your states, and route calls straight to your closers. Track performance, optimize on the fly, and pay only for results that hit your CPA goals. Flexibility, transparent QC reports, complete campaign control from your desktop or phone. Join EDM Lead Network, where performance meets precision.
Nice. So, as a marketer and as a data collector, where do you find the most success?
Well, if I told you that, I'd have to kill you.
That's the secret sauce. We can't give too much, right? But
I think personally, if you run a compliant business, I personally like transfers significantly more. Just from a quality perspective, these people have been screened. They're outbound. They're screened. You verify the intent of the person, and you're kind of getting the highest quality of call for our partners.
So wait, you're doing a lot of outbound?
We do.
Okay.
And then I understand the legal risk of it with TCPA in those sort of scenarios. However, we just run a really clean ship and we play by the rules, and it's really easy to scale that. Inbounds are good as well when they have the intent side of the business, but personally, transfers are probably where I'm finding the most success. Legal and insurance are our bread and butter, whether that's SSDI, MVA, or auto insurance, health insurance, Medicare, etc.
Amazing. Now I know everybody's on this big AI kick right now. Have you incorporated AI yet?
We are actively using AI in several facets to our operation. Primarily, number one is inbound calls. We're taking inbound calls, we're screening them, kind of taking the best blend of transfers, being able to take someone who initiated the inbound call, making sure they meet the proper criteria, and then sending it out to either our internal offers or our third party and advertisers, et cetera, that are buying. Now, we also use it from an outbound perspective. We've been developing this internally for over 8 months with actually one of a good buddy who's out here as well. I think you know him actually.
Ooh,
His name's Dan.
we'll talk later
Yeah,
about
yeah,
which
yeah,
stand it is.
he's a good buddy. He's been helping me develop that, and we're outbound dialing as well. What we've found has significantly increased our consumer journey or consumer experience. We always try and fight to be the best in whatever we can do, elevating our advertiser experience and how they do business, our publisher experience, but also our consumer experience. Um, Especially with legal verticals, where it's a little bit more sensitive information, a little bit more serious, they're finding much better enjoyment or call quality speaking with an AI than they are from someone who's, offshore. We don't run any Indian, Philippine, or Pakistan centers, only in the Philippines. And we still find that the person has a significantly better conversation, but are also more interested in talking to them. So we do see an increase in volume on that perspective. It prevents coaching and fraud. So it guarantees our client, like my AI can't tell you what to say on this call. So not only does it improve the consumer experience, but it mitigates and basically eliminates the possibility of coaching and fraud on that side. So inbound, outbound, and then we're also doing it on a QA perspective. So any calls that come in, it's being ran through our system, and we're being able to pull instantaneous disposition reports, quality reports, etc. And then finally, which is kind of neat, and this is where I think I'm a little bit more unique in this space, is we built an AI chatbot. What that does is it sits on top of like our call tracking platforms and all of our data. And a member from my team can say, why is performance today not look good? It will instantly analyze data, review all the different performance metrics, and be able to spit out, well, I see that publisher XYZ has a 40% decrease in volume today. I see this buyer's conversion rate's lower. And so my team can basically have instantaneous action items and insight into the data, and it removes the discrepancy or the interpretation of the human. It's just like, this is the data, here's a few things to improve it instantly. So those are kind of the fastest. We're all in on it on the pay per call side of the business for sure.
Well, you've done a lot in the last 2 or 3 years since you've been there. You literally took the company into the pay per call space, it sounds like.
They did have it several years back, and I don't think that it was done, I think, to Vince's expectations or et cetera. And, fortunately, I owe it all to my team, that I think their contributions and effort are the reason we're here today. I'm just the crazy guy with a napkin that has ideas, and, they help us execute it. So,
I've done some of my biggest deals on napkins, believe it or not.
gotta love the napkin ones.
I know.
So,
Those are the deals that stick.
right.
When somebody gives you those long contracts that are like pages worth, they never work out. You get screwed. That's
Yep.
a red flag for me. But you do it on the napkin. Those
Yeah,
are the best
it's
deals.
simple. It's straightforward to the point. X, Y is equal
And
Z.
probably at the affiliate ball. That's probably where the napkin is like.
Oh, I think I've had at your shows alone, the amount of napkin deals I've probably had has been significant. So late hours, late times, odd places, that's where they all happen.
That's
So,
awesome. So let's talk about the onboarding process. So somebody goes to Ifficient and they say they're interested, they sign up. What happens next? How long would it take for them to actually start getting some of this?
great. Yeah. So for an advertiser, for example, I'm an auto insurance agency or a Medicare agency. I've never tested any sort of third party marketing traffic. They say, Logan, I want calls. We do a quick call, 10, 15 minutes. Like, how many agents do you have? Really, what are you working with? But from the time that you give me a phone number to send calls to, I can have you have a call in probably 30 minutes in those specific verticals, almost guaranteed any day of the week. I have a back end ops team, and then the way it comes through our funnel, our system, it's just super efficient. And so I don't really need much other than you giving me a phone number. 30 minutes later, I can have you calls.
You can scale based on your formula, so you know how to get more.
Yeah, absolutely. And so several verticals. I mean, one in the legal space right now where, we've almost tripled it in the past 90 days. Different lead buys and sort of funnels through that way, and just getting different types of traffic type. We've been able to increase that, continuously adding agents. That was where I come from, is building our call center. So I can also have a brand new agent that's never called a day in our lives for us, and then in 48 hours they could be on the phone, know what vertical, how to use the dialer, when to clock in and out. And so we have systemized that process as well to allow us to be able to scale those initiatives and campaigns.
So you're able to scale without losing any quality.
Correct.
Awesome.
And then even more so with the AI, it makes it a little bit easier, because if I have a big whale, I could instantly, instead of onboarding 10, 20 agents pretty quickly, I can just run it in our AI. We can have 150 concurrent calls at the same time pretty easily, and also be able to achieve it that way. So
Amazing. So are you doing anything out like offline? Are you doing any radio or TV ads?
I'm here,
You're here.
but no,
This is your offline. being
yeah,
here.
no, we don't. It's hard for me because I don't know that space. It's hard for me to justify being able to take a leap at some of those different media strategies without just hemorrhaging dollars. And I think with the limited bandwidth I already do have, I kind of try and play with what we do know, and that's like path traffic. Like, that's just what I know, and I don't think we've reached a point where I've exhausted all of those. And so instead of shiny object syndrome and trying to spread myself too thin, I'm just whatever I know what really well, and how can I do that and be better and do more and do better.
Yeah.
At a point, eventually you'll reach, the top and have that saturation of it. But until then, I'm staying focused.
Love it, dude. You've been very focused.
That's it.
So I've seen you at a bunch of shows. I know I've seen you at Affiliate Summit. I believe I've seen you also at the Contact Show.
Yep, that one's in my
and-
backyard.
Oh, good. So I'll see you there as well. And they're
Absolutely.
sponsoring this episode. Thank you for Contact. And then at Lead Generation World, we'll see you there as well, too, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Awesome.
sir.
So those are the go-tos.
Correct. Always Affiliate Summit, Lead Gen World, Contact IO. Almost never miss any of those. It's good to just shake hands with a lot of partners that we work with on a daily basis, but also to establish those new connections. All three, which are very fantastic avenues to achieve that.
That's awesome.
Honestly, I've built everything from that. The first day I got a script. Hey, here's something about MVA. Here's a few questions they ask, and here's a possible buyer. Like, that's all I received 2.5 years ago. I read a 200-page PDF document on how to build a dialer, and then fast forward, now we're doing 4, 5, 6,000 calls a day.
Wow.
So
That's a lot of calls.
it is a lot of
Well,
calls.
good for you.
Yeah.
And you'd say the number one vertical, again, you were saying was which one?
I would say legal on the SSDI space or any of the disability spaces. Those are our bread and butter, pretty quickly followed by like Medicare, auto insurance.
Do you do anything with debt as a vertical?
We do. Debt is tough. It really depends on the advertiser. Two of the same calls can go to two different buyers and have two different opinions on it. And so we take debt a little bit more seriously on how we strategically work with you as a partner to make sure that we're pairing the proper traffic for you, to make sure you're being able to actually, sign those deals and back out on it, because you can hemorrhage money for an advertiser pretty quickly. Something we don't believe in is just running up an invoice, being what's the right word? Being unresponsive to really how that acquisition is breaking down for them, and then just saying, oh, we'll find a new partner. Like, we will strive up front to make sure we match that as much as we can. So that way, it's also led us to the sustainability of most of our buyers. We very rarely ever lose an advertiser. Very rarely does anyone ever pause us. Most of the time they want more. Just how can we do more?
Yeah. They always want more, don't they?
Yeah, every time, man.
So let's go back to the beginning for you. Because if you got there only a few years ago, what were you doing before Ifficient?
Great question. I was in the finance space of the business. I had an advertising agency, a lead gen, right at the start of COVID. When I was 18, I started working for Mercedes-Benz, selling cars. Quickly went to become a finance manager and then a director for several dealerships. And then I left because there wasn't enough money in the world that I had the time to spend it on. And my life was just miserable. And so that's when I kind of turned to entrepreneurship, launched my own advertising agency, did very well with that for a couple years. And I just ended up hating it out of nowhere. Went back into finance, and then that's when I crossed paths with Vince. And we had a conversation. We sat down for lunch one day, and he believed in something that I had a vision for, and he gave it the shot at it. And that it ended up failing miserably. I'll be very honest with it. The first crack at it was not a good crack.
How did you fail?
Well, I think failure can be defined as several different ways, right? So I don't think necessarily failure is the right word. More of a learning experience, but I definitely bled some dollars, tens of thousands of dollars pretty quickly there. And so
let's just call it a split test.
Yeah.
It was just the beginning of the split. That's all.
And I split everything to one side of losing it, but that's where it started. I feel like I didn't sleep for months and months and months as an effort to just like make something work. And, eventually things started to click and we just believed in ourselves. And that's what's led us to where we are today.
That's awesome. So how much of a impact has networking had on your business?
It's instrumental. Like there is no way I'd be anywhere close to where I am today without my network. And that was purely just going to shows, knocking on people's doors, sending emails.
How did you find the shows? Like, how did you even learn about it?
Fortunately, because Ifficient's been around for a while, they have a lot of experience and they've been going to these shows for a decade, And so there was a first couple ones where like, I think this is coming up. My first show actually was Contact.io. And oddly enough, the very first meeting that I sat in with was with our VP of data, with Jamal from EDM Network.
Nice.
So Jamal was the very first meeting that I ever sat with, and I had no idea what the hell was
That's a great
going.
first meeting, by the way. You're going to learn a ton in that
Yeah,
one.
Jamal's a great guy. I love that guy. I sat there, and I had no idea what the hell was going on, and I learned everything from that moment. That night is when I walked up to the booth. That's when I met Sam from Track Drive.
Yeah.
And that's where it took us all the way around the circle. I went to that first little networking dinner. I met a few people there, and then I saw them at the next one. I was like, started doing my research, and I was like, oh, these are another few options. And now to this day, almost everybody I know has been built from one of those shows.
Are you using your own tracking platform, or do you use somebody else's?
I am not on Track Drive at the moment. I have tested it, and we do have some limited working capacity there. It's just such an overhaul to move that when we have so many campaigns and so many DIDs. I'd have to retool every single campaign, get every single one a new DID and phone number. And so it's just a huge undertaking that I just haven't had the time.
So you're with Ringba then, is your
correct?
answer.
Yeah. No disrespect.
So you're with the other one. You're with Ringba.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a Ringba guy.
That's
what
great.
I do.
Yeah, Ringba's really great. We like Ringba a lot. As we do Track Drive, they're the main sponsor of the affiliate ball coming up, which I love. So that brings me into my next question, since I mentioned the affiliate ball. Do you have a favorite memory at an affiliate ball, or a favorite artist, or a favorite?
I do, actually. The first one that comes to my mind was Vegas a year and a half ago with Fat Joe.
Fat Joe.
And I called you and Sam, and I was like, I don't have anything to do, but I like come hang out with you guys. And so I went all early, and that's when the logo couldn't get our logo on the screens there. But,
oh man,
you were running around like a crazy person trying to get everything done, and so
we got your logo on.
Yeah,
right?
no,
See?
everything turned out great. And
people don't understand the behind the scenes of what goes on.
Yeah, what up, y'all? This your boy Fat Joe Crack, Vegas, January 16th. D-Money's affiliate ball. We balling out, baby, and we all the way up. Let's get it.
That was the first time ever that I saw like our logo in the middle of the screen in the club in Las Vegas, and I was like, this is cool as shit. And then Fat Joe playing as a huge performance.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yo, this is heavy as fuck.
Then that night was probably like the first break into starting like some of those larger networking accounts and picking up some people, because they start to see your name, they see your branding, and when you introduce yourself, it clicks like, oh, I saw them somewhere. It just makes conversation significantly easier.
I love it because, I could flash back to when we first met and I pitched you on doing the party, and you're like, I'm not sure if this fits our brand. And, because it's a party, it's kind of like stereotyped by people as it's a party.
Yeah.
But it's more than that. It's really a marketing event and a networking event. And to have your logo seen so big on those screens, especially the night of Fat Joe.
D-Money, the money man, let's go! Let's go!
those were like wrapped around the whole venue. It was almost like the sphere, but not quite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I call it the sphere, mini sphere.
Yeah,
you
it's a
know?
mini
We'll
sphere.
pretend. Yeah, no, it's cool. And I think the biggest point of it is instant credibility. I just had a different perspective shift on it. And, I wasn't looking to immediately attain a ROI from this night that's tangible. That one relationship I could meet, I could end up doing business with 2 years later. But like that's what stirred up the conversation, And so I just kind of shifted the perspective on how I build value at those. And it's great to have my team there because when they start introducing themselves to people and then they also see the logo, it's just a compounding effect of that value.
Mm.
So it's a no-brainer for me. Now, I'm not EDM or track drive. I'm not a big boy here, but I try to contribute and obviously always to contribute to you. And
We appreciate it. I love it. You're a supporter. Ever since I met you, you've been coming back every single time, and I appreciate that. And hearing you mention the instant credibility you get just from seeing the logo at a huge event, it means everything because then you're at the trade show still networking, or you're at the next trade show, and they've already heard of you. They've seen
Right.
you in the past. They've seen you at the party. They've heard us on the microphone thanking you. And I send a lot of newsletters out to our database. So hopefully that repetition is what really works. It's hard to measure right away unless you use a tracking code. We can't use a tracking code on a screen inside of a venue.
And it doesn't even, at the end of the day, it's up to you to make something of it, right? I think you can be the largest person that sponsors it and do absolutely nothing with it because you don't talk to anybody, or you can be the smallest fish in the pond, but just go swim by every single person that you see, and it could be significantly advantageous. And that's always been my strategy. Is just like, can I make a little bit of noise here and there, and usually that will bring eyeballs. And once I bring eyeballs, I usually am a little bit charismatic enough to at least open up a conversation. I could usually get you for one meeting. At the very minimum, I can get one meeting.
It's those nice suits that you wear.
That does help. My buddy
Yeah.
asked me the other day, he said, "Why do you wear that?" And I said, well, the first time I did and someone said, "Hey, you look important. What's your name?" I was like, "Oh." And then it kind of started happening again.
And you busted out the napkin and got them to sign up right there.
But yeah, that's I do try and wear those from a professional standpoint, but it more or less is just kind of like I said, that shaking of the noise, or scroll stopper, I guess you could say, because it does allow me to get conversations that I probably wouldn't have.
Mhm.
Being that I'm young, it does take a little bit when you go and talk to some larger companies that are pretty.
How old
large.
are you, by the way?
29 in a few days.
Nice. Happy
Yeah,
birthday.
thank you.
That's
29
awesome.
on the 28th.
Wow. Well, good for you
Uh,
for being so young and already crushing it in our industry. I wish I was your age and crushing it in our industry, but I'll be an old guy, just kind of like doing all right.
You're
I'm-
doing fine.
I'm
man.
all
You're doing
right.
great. You shake it up.
I shake it up.
You're an expert in what you do exactly yourself. I'm trying to be an old guy and crush it too, And
There we
so
go. One day
it
you could be
starts.
like D Money or something. L
Yeah.
Money.
That's it. I'd
Hey.
like to, if I could be like you, man, I'd be in a good spot. I'd be in a good
Thanks.
spot.
Speaking of good spots, we have the Affy Awards coming up. I can't remember if you were at the one in New York or if I saw you at a past one. Were you at both
No.
of these ceremonies that we've done?
I was at New York,
Uh-huh.
and the comedian
Ben Glebe.
yeah, he asked to hit the vape. Remember on stage?
I'd like to thank people who make vapes. I'd like to thank everybody who made this moment possible. I don't know what the moment means, but I'm sure it's significant. Thank you, and God bless.
Give it up for Seamless.ai, everybody. I'm glad to have you. This is great. I
I'm
like
happy to
it.
be here.
All right, let's do our next one.
And he tossed it. And then he,
Which vape was that? A THC one or a
no,
regular
no,
one?
no.
Regular
That
vape.
one was a normal one.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because I was
and-
at Method Man with him, and that was a different kind of vape. But go
Yeah,
ahead.
for
Finish that off. That shit harsh as fuck though.
What is it, a blunt?
It's a tobacco leaf with some weed in it. Yes sir.
Okay, perfect.
That is beyond blunt.
Love it. It's
My
like,
boy
it's like
did
Beyond
smoke
Meat.
blunt.
It's like Beyond Meat. It's not real.
Yeah. It definitely is not. That's the vegan blunt.
You're cutting back these days.
Yeah.
Switching it up.
Actually, they got paper now that's non-toxic. All that shit. The paper.
That's what I smoke.
Yeah.
It's about time.
Yeah.
sure,
Yeah.
for sure. So yeah, I was there, and then we did the following thing after. What was that, Harbor? Or somewhere nowhere.
The affiliate ball the next night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we did. It was back-to-back nights. It was fun.
Yep,
That
I
was a
did
great
both. I
time.
did that one, and then obviously we're gonna contribute to the upcoming one, and so we'll see you in New York as well.
Yep.
So I'm excited for that.
And I don't know if you knew this or not, but I'm sorry, Lead Generation World is back in San Diego, and they're doing it at the Gaylord. And
Oh
if you're
wow.
not familiar, it's a $1 billion hotel.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it's like the most expensive hotel in the US right now. It's got a lazy river by the pool. It's amazing. So
That's
we're going to
awesome.
do the Affy Awards there. So I hope you make it there, and I hope
Of
to
course.
see that hopefully you'll be nominated for something, if
Well, I
not
was gonna
everything.
say, I hope I'm walking home with a little glass piece or something cool,
Yes, I hope so
a
too.
nice paperweight that I get to
Yes.
stare at as a sign of achievement and recognition.
And people ask me all the time, so how do we get nominated? So I'm going to just, since now I feel like we've shifted gears and we're getting close enough that I can start promoting it.
Yeah.
AffyAwards.com. You could go ahead and nominate yourself now. And I mean, I say nominate yourself because people, if you're the best at what you do,
Oh, I've already put
you're
in
allowed to
nominations.
nominate yourself.
Go check your files. They're already in there. Get out of here, man. You already know me.
I tell people that's how you get on the radar. And when they're not nominated, they're like, how come we weren't nominated? I'm like, did you nominate yourself?
I nominated a few people from our team that I think are well deserving for those things.
Good.
To represent on the behalf of us. I am very excited to go back to San Diego. Florida is nice. I do enjoy that, but I think I've been to Florida 5 times already this year, and I don't want to go back to Florida for the rest of the year. I'll
I
tell
don't
you that.
blame you. San Diego's great. I used to live there. It's the best.
I grew up in San Clemente.
Oh, you
I
did?
spent a lot of time growing up there, like surfing the lowers and stuff
You look like
that.
a surfer.
Yep.
You look straight out of Bill and Ted's Big Adventure or something.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. I mean, I don't know if that's good or bad.
No.
but,
You had
it
that
sounds like he has a good time.
Yeah, you look like a surfer is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved it
Yeah.
as a kid, and then when I moved back to Colorado, I picked up skateboarding, and that hurts a lot more. But I enjoyed
Because you're doing
that.
it in the snow. That's why.
Yep.
Can't do it
and,
in the snow.
And then yeah, but that was my passion, was surfing. I taught like a little Volcom surf camp out there.
Oh, nice.
I was a little counselor for.
What's the
growing up.
biggest wave you've crushed?
Like 10 to 12 foot faces. I've never did really anything bigger than that.
That sounds
but
pretty big to me.
It's as tall as this,
Yeah.
It's scary. It's
Yeah.
scary.
So if that crushed you, you'd be pretty hurt.
Nah, I mean, depends on the bottom and how shallow it is, but you'll be all right.
Have you ever seen a shark?
Once, and I don't like it. I'm not. The older I get, the crazier I feel like I was. I'm like, I was out there at 10 years old in the middle of the ocean with no vest. You're just out there, and now I'm like, man, I was a crazy person. I don't know if I'd just go sit out there, legs dangling. Anymore.
Yeah. That's my fear, is that I wouldn't want to be out there and see a fin. That would freak me out.
Yeah.
Because at that point, what do? If you go really fast to shore, you're probably gonna attract
Panic
it to get
mode.
you. So you gotta kind of go slowly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just enjoy the presence of it, and
Yes.
that's not something that I'm interested in, man. I did a scuba diving adventure in the Georgia Aquarium, which is like the U.S.'s largest aquarium. It's the length of like 2 football fields and then 30 feet deep.
Oh,
And they
wow.
have whale sharks, like 40, 50-foot whale sharks and stuff like that. And I did that, and I swam
Where
with
was
the sharks.
this?
It's in the Georgia Aquarium. If you haven't done it, it's probably one of the coolest experiences you could ever do. They have like a snorkel and a scuba, but it's literally a giant football field filled with thousands of creatures, sharks, manta rays their wingspan is probably as long as this room.
Wow.
Whale sharks and all of that. And that was like my encounter, where it was beautiful and contained, but I couldn't imagine.
Do you have
in
any
the wild.
footage?
I do have some photos, actually. Yeah.
Send it to me. Maybe
Uh,
I'll edit it into the final pod.
Oh hell yeah!
That'd be
No, it's
great.
cool. I do have actually a lot of cool photos from it.
So speaking of whales and sharks, it takes me back to our industry talk. We have whales and sharks, but where do you see the industry going? Knowing that there's so many sharks out there, so many whales, what's the future hold?
Yeah, great question. I think as the future progresses over the next couple years, on the call side of the business specifically, compliance is key. Making sure you're running a clean ship that has minimal legal implications as possible. No one wants TCPA suits. No one wants class actions coming to them. And I think advertisers are getting burned consistently by poor publishers and people that aren't generating real or quality or compliant traffic. And it's leading the industry to be very heavily inbound focused. you're kind of bypassing TCPA when the consumer is initiating the call to you. Now I think the back end of that is I think it's going to be heavily turned into like screened inbound. So inbound, and then at that point it's going to be screened by a person similar to a transfer, and then sent over. So then they have the minimal legal risk on the front end for TCPA, but they also have the quality of a transfer. So I think that's where it's heavily going to go. 2 years maybe, where I think that will be probably one of the larger or more desired call types. And whether that person or thing or computer or AI is screening, that will be the catalyst there, where it depends. It could change, but ultimately I know where I'm going with it. And I think that if I can have a better customer experience, I'm going to leverage technology over some of those other alternatives. That's the big one on the call side that I think is going to probably take that shift.
Have you ever gotten screwed from somebody that never paid? Just curious.
A lot. Yeah.
It happens, right?
Yeah. There's my AR report would agree that I have a few people that owe me several.
What was the biggest hit you took on one person?
So right now I have a pretty good system in place. So I minimize most of my losses. Right now I have several people in like the 10 plus range. So fortunately I don't have, you see the nightmare horror story of someone getting stuck for $100,000 from a pretty large player.
Yeah.
I don't have any of those, but I do have a few that are probably in the 10K mark range. And there's some people that still, if you're watching, you owe me money, that I would love to work out a payment plan to get that done. But
well, I think that I might have a solution coming out soon that I could announce here. I announced it in another pod, but I just haven't released the pod yet. So if I release this one first, I'm going to make an announcement here.
All right, do it.
All right, so we're releasing the very first escrow company for calls. It's going to be callescrow.io.
Callescrow.io.
And the way it works is we have escrow.com that's going to take our business. So we literally had to get them to approve it for our industry because they weren't doing it before. But since it's such a need for us, and I verified it with you, you've had several that screwed you for at least 10 grand each.
Yeah.
You're talking 30 grand in no time, and plus whatever else you got screwed for. But then there's the 100 grand people that get screwed. So now we have a solution for like under 2.5%, and in bulk it goes down to like 1.7 or something. Basically, you could have it in a holding with escrow, and as long as everything is met, it gets released. And if there's any dispute, they have the attorneys and the arbitrators. They're going to go ahead and discuss it and figure it out.
But funds are always there.
Yeah.
And so it's basically a prepayment without the risk on the advertiser front of not getting the fulfillment of the actual product or call, right?
Yeah. I mean, it seems like a simple concept, but nobody's done it yet. And
I like it.
And my partner, Mike Gustin from Top of Funnel. I don't know if you know Mike.
I do know Mike.
He's a Denver guy. We teamed up on this, and we've had several meetings now with escrow.com, who handles $6.5 billion worth of money, and they do all of eBay stuff.
Oh,
so
wow.
I'm like, okay, I think we could trust them then. I think it'll be good. So we're going to get the lowest rate possible through escrow.com once they start taking our business, and that might be something you might be interested in.
I would absolutely be interested in that. I think prepays are something that we've been pushing for a little bit more. I mean, obviously, we're always willing to put our best foot forward to earn trust, whether that's on a performance or an acquisition metric, whether that's showing that we can actually fulfill a product or a service or good. We always try and do that. Now, sometimes that leads us, to where you get kicked a little bit, and not all people are great, and not all people do good business, and just a part of the process. And I think things that we've implemented just help minimize that a bunch. And, but yeah, I think there is a valuable marketplace or market for that.
Yeah, I hope so. We'll see what happens. I mean, it's literally a good deed we're trying to do for the industry. It's not even about the money. It's literally, let's try to stop getting screwed.
Yeah.
So that would be great.
Great
okay.
idea.
Well, I think, is there anything else that we should be talking about now that I have you in the studio? Anything new coming out that you want to announce?
We are. I will be slowly kind of phasing away from pay-per-call. I still will be the director of pay-per-call and always have my foot. That's my baby. I love it to death. I eat, breathe, sleep calls. Jordan from my team, she's stepping up into a little bit more of a comprehensive role, managing all of our networks and aggregators and partners on that side of the business, which is going to be helpful. And where I will be then funneling my time is we're launching our own Medicare agency.
Oh,
So
wow, that's
as
huge.
of last week, I just got finished up my licensing, and we're finishing up our contracting with the carriers. And so I think the ultimate goal in any pay-per-call sort of business or any advertising business is monetizing as much of the funnel as possible. And so where, we can monetize the data and then the call side of the business, but then to actually own the offer on the back end has always been our goal from the very beginning. And so to be able to not only take that on the front end side of the advertising, but then do the enrollment side of that and help people be able to make sure that they're having the best policies and things in place is going to be pretty fulfilling. So that's our pretty big announcement that we have coming out. And so hopefully the moment I get back, I am going to be doubling down on it in preparation for open enrollment several months away. But seems like I'm already behind schedule. So I gotta grind.
I made the mistake once of throwing an event during open enrollment. I learned my lesson.
Yeah.
I did my first AFI Expo, and it was like October 15th, and everyone was like, dude, it's open enrollment, man. You're not going to get anyone.
It's crazy. Everyone in the entire space drops everything.
They do.
For 4 months. It's like they have amnesia. They wake up and all they eat, breathe, and sleep is ACA Medicare, and that's it. And then January 15 hits, and they're like, okay, so what do we do again? And it goes right back to ground zero. So definitely a weird landscape. And I think last year I didn't capitalize on it as much as I should because I was worried about building business that was just going to drop off anyways. But it didn't really matter. I could have provided value for that time period. And so this year I want to do it in a different capacity. Now we're actually going to own one.
Owning your own offer is huge. So I can't wait to see what you do with that. And I'll be sending you some business. Are you accepting anybody as a referral partner? So like if I could just send you the business, you'll accept it?
Yeah.
All right.
We have referral agreements and everything. Always.
All right,
Always
we'll
take
work a
care
little
of you.
something out with me and marketingfirm.com. All right.
You know the deal. I always take care of you, man.
My man. All right. So let's go back to one more thing. We got the affiliate ball coming up, and I thank you for being a sponsor of that again.
Absolutely.
And I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm wearing a shirt. I don't know. I mean, if you know Too Short, I don't really have to explain it. Why they gotta say it like short? That's all I gotta say. You know the song, blow the whistle. So I'm D Money, affiliate ball. Thanks for tuning in, my man Logan. Thank you very much for coming to the studio all the way from Denver.
Thank you.
Love that. And we're gonna blow the whistle at the party and literally tear the roof off the building because it's a retractable rooftop. So
It's a retractable?
It's retractable.
That's pretty sweet.
And what's interesting about this one that a lot of people don't know, we had Method Man last year, and Method Man smokes a lot of weed, and so does Too Short. So does a lot of people in the industry. It is legal in New York. So I'm just going to say this. Our venue lets you smoke weed because it is legal there and it's an open building. I'm not saying that you have to smoke weed. I'm just saying the venue lets you do it, and that's pretty rare. It's literally the only venue I've ever had since 1999 that has said, you guys can smoke all the weed you want. It's going to be fine. So I'm just saying, come to the affiliate ball. We got a great night. We got Too Short. We're going to blow some smoke. We're going to blow the whistle. And we're going to have a couple drinks and have a good time. And if you don't smoke or you don't drink, we still want you there. We have an EDM DJ, Mike Gustin, also known as Reality Hacker, my partner in the Call Escrow. He's going to be our EDM DJ for the night, and he's awesome. So I'm really looking, and he's got a track with Oakenfold. Don't know if you knew that. So anyway, so
I just went to lunch with them a few days. They live like 10 minutes from me.
Oh, really?
Him, Trenton, and all of them.
Love it.
Yeah.
Great group.
They're good guys for sure.
For sure. All right, man. Well, we're going to see you at the affiliate ball. Thanks again for being on the D Money Show. Thank you guys for tuning in.
This is the D Money Show.
All right, let's get you guys up. Last time you got kicked off.
Yeah, I did.